Good day. I hope this video finds you well. My name is Ricky Wascher, and I own and operate Cimamusic Mix Mastering, a recording studio based out of Tucson, Arizona. Now, I'm in the process of producing a series of videos, and the intent of these videos is to convey to my viewers how I approach mixing, whether it be a specific instrument or how I would approach mixing a song in a specific genre. Now, the video you're about to see will focus mainly on how I approach mixing a vocal track. Now, just to preface the video, I do want to start off by saying that how I treat a vocal is going to differ from song to song. It will depend on a number of factors such as the singer, what they're singing, how they're singing, the equipment they're singing into, is it the male singer, female singer, the genre, so on and so forth. So this is not a one-size-fits-all approach. So what I want to do is play a song for you and then come back and tell you how I mixed the vocal and even tell you why I decided to take the approaches that I did. So the song I'm going to play for you is called Reno, and it's by Luis Loucks-Tavares, who is a local singer-songwriter, also based out of Tucson, Arizona. Now, his record was recorded here at my studio, and Reno is featured on it. So while we were recording, we brought in a guest singer to sing Reno, and this person's name is Bill Sedlmayr, who is also based out of Tucson, Arizona. It's a fantastic singer, which you're going to hear in a moment. So without further ado, I will play the song and then I'll come back and tell you why I did what I did. This is Reno from Luis Loucks-Tavares featuring Bill Sedlmayr.
Where were you a month ago in Reno? Living hand to mouth when the chips were down again. Where were you a month ago with him?
Okay, so as you can see, it's a very stripped down song, very simple. It just consists of an acoustic guitar, a piano, and a cello from an instrumentation standpoint. And we tracked Bill's vocal, and I made a duplicate of the lead vocal part, and use this as a double on some parts of the song, just to give certain parts a little more character and a little different bit of a feel. And then we also have a background vocal. So in treating the vocal, I used EQ, compression, and a little bit of reverb. So now to start with, I used the SSL channel. I used very little EQ. Now, to kind of go back, Bill has a very unique character to his voice. It's very raspy and he's very breathy and he's just got an amazing voice. And I wanted to really accentuate that, especially to really accentuate the kind of the somber feeling of the song. I thought it was just very he was just the perfect match for this song. So now to start off with the EQ, I pulled up the high pass filter to 250 hertz. I have an 8K shelf going on here, very little, about 3 dB boost, very little going on at 3K, also 3 dB boost, and that's it. There's no more EQ going on. I use a very little bit of compression, a 2 to 1 ratio. And all this is doing is just taming some of the peaks in his voice. It's doing next to nothing, just keeping the vocal even and under control. So what I decided to do, in addition to this, I decided to implement parallel compression. Now, parallel compression, in a nutshell, you take an instrument and you send it to an aux with a compressor on it. And as you pull up that compressor, it pulls up the noise floor of that of whatever instrument you have going into the aux, and it does a lot of things. It just brings out a lot of character in the instrument. It gives it more punch. Parallel compression is used a lot on drum tracks, vocals. I've used it and I've seen it used on guitars and other instruments. So the reason why I decided to go this route is because, again, that breathiness and the character, the raspiness of Bill's voice, I really wanted to accentuate that for this song. So I created a couple of bus tracks, and I actually used 2 compressors for this job. The first one being the Puig Child, which is an emulation of a very, very good compressor called Fairchild, which is like a $40,000 piece of hardware. And you can see that I have the input all the way up and the threshold just all the way up. So this compressor is working very hard. And I also use the LA2A, which also the threshold is all the way up. So both the compressors are really doing their job. Now the volume, the bus volume I have for the Puig Child is at unity, so it's pretty high. There's a lot of the vocal going through that compressor, and it's considerably high also on the LA2A. So again, the parallel compression is working pretty good. So what I want to do is solo the vocal and show you just what it sounds like, what kind of effect the parallel compression gives to the voice. So I'm going to start off by muting my reverb sends, and then I will mute in and out the compressor.
Where were you a month ago in Reno? Living hand to mouth when the chips were down again. Where were you?
Okay, so again, as you can see, or as you can hear, it does bring up the noise floor. You can hear some of the room reflections, and you can hear even a little bit of noise from his headphones. But within the context of the mix, you can't hear anything, or you at least can't hear all that noise.
Where were you a month ago in Reno?
But again, it does accentuate that gutsy, that feeling, that emotion that he's emitting in his voice for this song. So I thought it was a good approach to really pull that out. So as far as reverb is concerned, I'm not a huge fan of reverb, but I decided to use one in here, just not to give, not to make it sound like he was singing in a room, but more just to give a little bit of air around his voice. Now, I use a strategy, and I use this a lot actually, called the Abbey Road reverb trick. And what you do is you put an EQ on a channel strip, and you pull up the high-pass filter to about 600 hertz, and you pull down the low-pass filter to about 10K, and you drop your mids considerably. And what that does is then you put a reverb on after that. So you're essentially EQing your reverb. So you're knocking all of your low end out of the low end, out of the reflections, and you're pulling out a lot of the high end also. So what it does is it gives a very dark sense of air, like a darkness around the vocal, which I really like, and I'll show you what that sounds like.
Where were you a month ago in Reno?
So now in context with the mix.
Where were you a month ago in Reno? Living hand to mouth when the chips were down.
See, you can barely hear it. It's not one of those prominent, obvious reverbs. It just gives the vocal the effect of having a little more space in the mix. It gives it kind of a bigger sound, and that's it. So I really didn't do much else to the vocal track other than just the EQ, compression, parallel compression, reverb, and that's it. It just fit the vibe of the song. It fit Bill's vibe, and just pulled everything together very nicely. So that's about it. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. My phone number is 520-313-4852. My email is cimamusic@hotmail.com. My website is cimamusicstudio.com, and you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/cimamusicstudio. If you're interested in learning more about the studio, what I do, if you'd like to come over and work with me, it'd be a great honor. Definitely reach out to me. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace.